Hey everybody, hope you're well. I'm still with Manda, the author of this brand new book, I Wish I Knew. I Wish I Knew, I Wish I Knew is everywhere. I really wish I knew. This is one of those books that I wish I had read, someone had written for me. It would have made my life a lot better. It would have made my experiences more pleasant, and I would have navigated life with more wisdom. That's why the subtitle is 10 Lessons and Transformative Wisdom from the School of Hard Knocks that everyone should master. Don't walk around life blindly, because if you do, you will get hurt. You'll get hurt really badly. Some survive the hurt, some don't. And this book is for everyone who wish someone had written this book for them. Because I didn't find anyone, I decided to write it. Like Austin Kleon said in his book, Keep Going. Do you want to read a book about X? Has someone written it? Read it. If it's not written, write it. I decided to write it, and I hope this helps you. Today, I want to read the chapter 3 of my book, some excerpts, not all of it, because I don't want to keep you here too long. But I just want to go through some excerpts from chapter 3 to encourage you, to just give you a sneak peek of what to expect from this book. So the chapter 3, without further ado, let me just jump into it, is The Power of Resilience. And it is talking about your response to adversity will make or break you. Life is an unpredictable journey, and along the way, we inevitably encounter challenges and hardships. It's a universal truth that bad things will happen to us all. However, what I have found to also be true after the death of my father and experiencing sexual, emotional, physical, and mental abuse is that what truly defines our path forward is not adversity itself, but rather our response to it. It is our ability to embrace resilience, learn from setbacks, and navigate through tough times that determines our ultimate success and personal growth. In simple terms, it is taking the mess you're going through, finding the message in it, and then inspiring others with your truth. When I look back at my life, 17 years after the death of my father, I can only say that everything that happened to me, as Tony Robbins, or as Tony Robbins would say, for me, inevitably led me to who, what, and where I am at the moment of writing this book. In this case, reading this book. I'm not sure what you're going through right now, but whatever it is, embrace it and face it with everything you've got. You may have observed in movies that when a tornado approaches houses and trees, they do not uproot themselves to relocate to a safer city. They remain where they are and allow the storm to pass through them, regardless of the consequences. Turning bad things into blessings. Embracing resilience and transformation offers an honest look at how people could transform trials into an opportunity for improvement and optimism. Below are 5 strategies I used to turn all the bad things that happened to me into blessings that God had in store for me. If you adopt them, I promise you that you will experience a very positive change in your quality of life. There are 5. I'm not sure if I should read every one of them, but I'll read the first 2. The first one is to embrace resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficult situations, to adapt and to grow stronger in the face of adversity. When bad things happen, it is essential to acknowledge our emotions and allow ourselves to grieve or process the situation. On the day of the accident, after Dad's body was placed in the mortuary, the clothes he was wearing were handed to a relative. I can't exactly remember how I got hold of those khaki pants, but what I cannot forget is how I held on to them for hours, days, and weeks. And after his burial, I realized that holding onto his trousers and reminding myself of how much I missed him or giving into despair only held me back from moving on with my own life. However, embracing resilience means accepting the situation, learning from it, and committing to moving forward with determination. As long as I was still in the land of the living, I just had to keep living, and so should you, no matter what you're facing. Strategy number 2, shift your perspective. Our response to adversity is deeply influenced by our mindset and perspective. Instead of viewing setbacks as insurmountable obstacles, choose to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. During this year's Easter lunch at my cousin's home, he said, "Sylvie, I can't believe you are the same person I knew from when your dad was alive. You were so soft and spoiled, very much like a princess." I laughed, ha ha ha, and I said, "Well, bro, you're right about everything you've said. But after going from having everything to very little in the blink of an eye, it felt like being thrown into the deep end of the sea, where you either sink or swim to shore. And I chose the latter. I've had to face my new reality and make a lot of changes in my life. My dad died when I was heading to my final year at college, and I was facing my GCSE A-level exams. And when I went back to school that year, my top priority was to make him proud and give him excellent results. I was determined to uplift his name and continue to shine his light. Shifting your perspective can empower you to find hidden lessons, uncover strengths you never knew you had, and open doors to new possibilities. The third strategy is to cultivate self-compassion. Ashley Judd was quoted to have said, "Self-care isn't selfish, it is self-esteem." In challenging times, it is crucial to practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness, understanding that bad things happen to everyone and that you're not alone in your struggles. On the morning of June 18, 2023, I got very emotional while writing chapter 2 of this book. It was about the time I had with my dad, and writing about him in the past tense as on Father's Day made me very emotional, and I started to sob uncontrollably. My sister was in her room, and when she heard me, she rushed out and was desperate to find out what the matter was. I told her I missed Dad, and I really did feel like crying for my loss and all the other children around the world who wish they had their dads today. We spent all afternoon talking about my life from the time when Dad died. She was only 2 when Dad died, and she said, "It's hard for me to miss him the way you do, but I'm on with you, sis." One of the stories I told her was about the time when I went off to university, and our late uncle, who had taken over that estate, was uptight with money. And the story went like this. On a bright Monday morning, I woke up and got ready to head to the university. I tried to make breakfast, but I had no cereal or cooking gas. So instead of going to school, I took a taxi and headed to Dad's office to speak to Uncle A. When I got there, Uncle A was in meetings, but I waited it out. I did eventually get my turn to speak to him. The moment I walked into his, in quotes, new office, I felt extremely bitter that he was now sitting in Dad's chair in Dad's office, but wasn't treating me like Dad would. There I was hungry and broke. There I was, hungry and broke, yet the best student in my class at the university. I was a good girl, trying to do everything right, but not having food was something that I refused to understand. He was now the man in charge, and Dad never once left us without our basic needs. Why was Uncle A doing this to me? Were all the thoughts that went through my mind in a split second. He asked why I was there, and I told him I needed airtime on my phone, gas money, and some pocket money for my basic needs at school. He looked me in the eye and said, "You should not have come all the way here because I don't have money." I wasn't going to have that discourse, so I exploded in anger. I asked him, "How come you don't have money when you now run the show? Why are you even in this office if you're not making any money?" He clapped back at me and asked me out of his office. His office. I left feeling so sorry for myself. It had barely been a year since Dad died, and I was already struggling. His lovely secretary, Auntie E, who by the way was also in Dad's car when he had the accident, but was graced with another opportunity to leave, walked over to me and begged me not to cry. I was crying uncontrollably, and I even ended up saying a curse in my heart, like a little sorcerer. I said, "Daddy, if you can hear my cry, let every drop of tear on this floor not go in vain." One of Dad's friends and associates who witnessed it all felt sorry for me, gave me 20,000 francs CFA, about $40, and sent me on my way back to university. When I got back to my university room, I vowed that my dad's premature passing would not reduce me to a beggar or a life of self-pity. I was going to overcome this, whatever it took. I was by no means the brightest student in my class, but I maintained the top spot for three main reasons. Number one, I was getting a stipend for being the class head. Number two, I would get a scholarship at the end if I was the best. Number three, I would have a competitive edge against my peers when it came to finding a job after university. The fire I have to lead an extraordinary life was born 16 years ago, and I'm still going at it, perhaps until the day I am lifeless. Although things are not always easy, I want you to remember that setbacks do not define your worth or potential. And by nurturing self-compassion, you can develop the inner strength needed to face adversity head on and keep moving forward. I hope you enjoyed that read. I've read you the 3 strategies. There are 2 more left. This book is simply my heart. I poured everything out, lots of anecdotes in the book. And I really share how I dealt with every situation that I faced head on. I did not uproot myself when I saw the tornadoes coming. I didn't even know how. But in this book, I'm teaching you how to best manage the situation and be less confused when these things happen to you. I hope you grab a copy today, and I hope it does something wonderful for your life and for the life of the people around you, the people that you care about. Don't forget to get an extra copy. It's the season of Christmas. Look, this morning it was snowing when I woke up, and I looked through the window and said, "Thank you, Lord, for yet another day. I'm blessed to be here. How do I bless someone else this morning?" I'll be donating a few copies of this book myself. Grab an extra copy for someone else. Bless them. Bless them with your kindness. Bless them with your resources. Bless them with something that is life-changing. Not just money to buy chicken and eat and obviously go to the bathroom and it's gone. This book will be with them forever. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope to see your order and your reviews on Amazon and wherever it is that you decide to buy the book. Take care. It's been a pleasure reading to you. I'm Sylvie Tamanda, the author of How to Be an A+ Partner, Mom, and Entrepreneur, and the author of this brand new book, I Wish I Knew 10 Lessons and Transformative Wisdom from the School of Hard Knocks Every Single Person Should Master. Sometimes we feel that we know everything, but I guarantee you that by reading this book, you will find a new perspective that is refreshing and you'll be blessed. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.